convergence of a couple of factors, and Saturday will be a special day for us. And when I say us, I mean the institution, Bradley University in total. We're going to unveil the mascot at the basketball game on Saturday night at 7, with the pregame activities a little bit prior to that. But the mascot that we're unveiling will be something that is representative not just of athletics, but of the entire institution. And I think it's the convergence of two things. One, we had an opportunity when we went through our branding process over the course of the last 18 months or so that resulted in the V with the shield that you see behind me, that we got a lot of feedback throughout the process about the interest in having a mascot. We heard very loud and clear from our students, heard very loud and clear from faculty and staff and from alumni that this was an important piece of what they wanted to see Bradley have in its representation. So we went through that process and did a series of focus groups, did surveys, and ultimately came to the conclusion that a gargoyle would be the best representation for Bradley going forward. The other piece this converges with is that as part of our institutional strategic planning process and our goals going forward into the future, there's a desire and an interest in enhancing institutional spirit. We think this will be an important and contributing part of that arrangement, and allowing people to have an additional piece to latch onto as a representation of Bradley is very important. So those two factors combined have led us to what will be the culminating event on Saturday in the unveiling. We're excited about the unveiling, we're excited about what it's going to represent, and a lot of people put a lot of work into that process. Susan Andrews, who is here from University Vice President for Marketing, is here, and she's done a great job with it, as has our branding committee and our mascot committee, as well as Bobby Parker from our staff and Heidi Wegmuller from our staff. So really excited about how this is coming together, excited about what it's going to mean for the institution, and we think there's a lot of things that people will like to see at the game on Saturday. Bobby mentioned the pyrotechnic activities. In addition to that, we are also going to be bringing in a professional performer to wear the costume. We can't say who it is due to contractual arrangements with that performer, but it is somebody who does this on a regular basis as a professional, as the way they make their living. And we think it'll add some additional life and vibrancy to the experience and the introduction. So the mascot will be available for pictures throughout the game. There will be apparel that is available for purchase during the game after the unveiling happens. There will also be commemorative programs available, opportunities for photos at various times throughout the game, and we'll be incorporating the mascot and some other features throughout the contest. So we think it's a great opportunity. We're excited to present the mascot to the campus community and to the Peoria community for the first time, and we hope that we'll see people come out, be enthusiastic, and enjoy what we think is going to be a very, very meaningful part of the Bradley experience going forward.
Dr. Cross,
yeah.
Quick question for you. You mentioned that, I mean, after so many years without having a mascot, what does this unveiling on Saturday and actually getting a mascot mean to the university? Is this the cherry on the sundae, one of the cornerstone pieces, or can you just talk about what it actually represents to the university?
Well, as it represents, I mean, when you see the actual costume, you see the images that come about, I mean, when we went through that branding process, there was a lot of discussion about how do we want to represent it and present ourselves. So you get into a lot of discussions about, is it a cute and cuddly mascot, is it a fierce and intimidating mascot, and there's a balance that you have to achieve there because this mascot will be used in multiple settings. It is an athletic representation, but it also has representation opportunities in other areas of the institution. So you've got to make sure that it's something that can fit in various contexts and works well in various contexts. And you can do that through the body itself, through the facial images, through the gear that it wears, and all those things are things that we took into consideration pretty significantly throughout the process. You know, from there, I think that the other important piece to say is that it's got an opportunity to fill a void that we've had for quite some time now. With our nickname, the Braves, and I should have at the front and at the outset said, we will continue to be the Braves. We are not changing our nickname. We are the Bradley Braves, and we will continue to be the Bradley Braves. But we've not been able to use any imagery associated with that name. And so, because of that, we've got a major hole in what it is we can do in terms of representing the institution, representing athletics. And this will give us an opportunity to provide another piece in the arsenal and another piece in the array of things that people do to market their institutions, their athletic programs, that we haven't had for decades now.
And as you mentioned too, it sounds like this, even though we can't see it until Saturday, it sounds like this mascot does strike the balance between being something that younger people can, feel comfortable around, but also if you have a big sports rivalry, you can handle that. Does it kind of strike that balance as you were talking about?
I think it does very well. I think it fits in the sweet spot between powerful, fierce, intimidating, and approachable. I don't know if I'd use the word cuddly. It is a rock when it's all said and done, but it's something that will work very well in a lot of different settings for sure.
And the last question I got is, you mentioned that for Saturday there's going to be a professional performer who's going to be actually inhabiting the mascot itself. Going forward at future sporting events, is it going to be the same thing where there'll be a professional, or is this going to be like students could do this, or faculty, or can you just explain, like, going forward in the coming months, how that's going to work?
Sure. So a couple things to say there. One, I think the idea of having somebody come in and be a guest performer, if you will, is something that we'll obviously maintain as an option. But for the most part, I think this will be an opportunity for students, maybe recent alumni, to be involved and serve as a performer throughout the year. The basketball game on Saturday is a very public event, but we've got athletic events throughout the year. You've got orientation activities where you'll want to have the mascot. You'll have, admissions activities. I mean, there's a whole host of things and places that you can use this at. Alumni activities out on the road would be another great example of how you could do this. You could do this at the county fair if you want to have a Bradley representation of the county fair. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can use the mascot. And as it becomes a more identifiable part of who we are as an institution, I think the receptivity toward it will increase over time for sure.
Thank you.
Just talk about student involvement. Obviously, with Student Senate and student involvement representing the athletic department, how much has the student factor played with the gargoyle coming about on Saturday?
Well, I think the student piece of this has been one of the crucial aspects. If you go back to last year when Alan Buckingholtz was the president of student government, he was certainly a huge advocate for trying to have a mascot and really push the student view that a mascot was an important part of what we're doing. Zach has obviously carried that work forward as well, and I think it's an important piece for the liveliness, the energy, and the types of things people want to see at games on a regular basis. Student involvement beyond that has included students on the mascot committee and in the branding process, and students will be an integral part of the presentation of this going forward because they'll be the people who primarily wear this on a regular basis. There'll be a training process they have to go through. There'll be certain expectations and standards by which the costume can be used, certain places it can and can't be used, but students will play an important role not only in the getting up to this stage, but going forward into the future as well.
Yeah, just talk about Alan's involvement. Obviously, he was very crucial in, getting the push for the mascot, but just talk about, how he, as the leader of campus, in his student involvement last year, how did he, push the athletic department in getting to where we are today?
Well, Alan is a very persistent person on a lot of fronts. He's got an ability to really make a compelling argument for things that he's passionate about, and this is an area where he was very passionate for sure. I mean, he had a great interest in seeing this develop over a long period of time and getting to the stage of having it finished. I think he would have liked to have seen it finished before he graduated, but I know that he's looking forward to Saturday, and I'm sure we'll be here to see what ultimately is unveiled. So excited to show it to him. It'll be nice.
Any other questions?